What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. Break down why NIO is starting to look a bit more bullish and some very important things to be looking out for as we approach tomorrow. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. The offer ends in just about 11 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with NIO and the market. NIO is up 2.56% for the day, holding up quite nicely. And when we zoom out of the chart, you can see that we're about to get a bullish cross on the PPO. To add on to this, you can see that NIO has what appears to be a cup in the handle that is forming, and NIO could be getting ready for a very, very nice bounce. On the daily chart, we also have a potential inverse head and shoulders that's forming on NIO that could also lead to more upside. So we're starting to see many indicators suggesting NIO is going to bounce very soon. Looking at the fact that the market is doing something very similar, I think this could help NIO. We're about to see some upside very soon for that reason. Looking at NIO, they tweeted about the EC6, which is a pretty decent sign for them because they're continuing to give us some very, very good vehicles that are very, very pleasant. They're very luxurious, and they have so much potential for the NIO's long term. I'm very excited about this product, and I think that this is going to help NIO to grow immensely. To add on to this, when you look at the economic calendar for tomorrow, as a reminder, guys, we have initial jobless claims an hour before the market opens, as it's going to be Thursday tomorrow. Then we have a bunch of Fed speakers. The Fed is going to take over tomorrow at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. We have Mester from the Fed giving a speech. At 11:30 a.m., we have Barkin from the Fed giving a speech. Then we have Daly at noon, and then a little bit after noon, we have Barr from the Fed giving another speech. So we have a bunch of Fed speakers, 4 of them for tomorrow. What they say could cause some volatility. But to start us off, we have initial jobless claims being the biggest piece of data. Now, as far as NIO goes, Deutsche Bank gave NIO a buy rating, which is a good sign for them. And to add on to this, the price-price ratio is still quite decent as NIO is trying to hold up. To add on to this, NIO has a tendency of being green about, what is this, like 50% of the time on Thursdays. It's basically a coin flip. And finally, I'm not seeing much changing in the short volume. The volume was just okay at about like 28 million. So nothing too crazy happened today. Now let's break down the technicals. Why does NIO look a bit more bullish? Let's go over everything. So the first thing is, when you look at the daily charts, the MACD has a bullish cross in the PPO, which could lead to more upside. Now, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, we're about to get a bullish cross in the PPO, which could lead to even more upside. When we zoom out of the charts, historically, when NIO gets these crosses, we tend to see more upside the next day. And that's what tends to happen. There are a lot of instances where this played out. But this cross is not just a small one. This could be more significant as we have a cup and handle that is forming. You could even argue that this is looking like a inverse head and shoulders, but no confirmation yet. In my opinion, NIO has the 50 EMA at 8.84. If NIO breaks this alongside the market breaking its resistance, we're going to see NIO fly towards $9. Now, I want to call out SPY and a couple of other things first before I break this down. SPY got a daily 4-hour cross on the PPO, and we're testing 424.8. If SPY breaks this, this thing is going to start pumping very, very nicely. I think it's very possible for that to be the case if we break and hold this. If we break it, 426.5 is going to be on the table, and there's a good chance of that happening because the 4-hour looks more bullish. The daily is also starting to curl as we form the bullish divergence, so there is most definitely potential for this in my opinion. So we want to see if this thing can break out. Can we continue to break resistance? If we fail to break 423 tomorrow, then there could be some downside, but I'm leaning in the direction that's going to try to break 424.8 and start pushing up higher. Another thing that turned really bullish is Tesla. We're about to get a bullish cross on the PPO. If we get this, we could see Tesla actually push towards this gap fill. We haven't fully filled this gap at 262. I think Tesla's going to try breaking out even higher towards these higher levels. We're going to be watching if Tesla could break above 265. If we end up breaking above 262.5, those are going to be some resistance levels. If it gets above that, 269 is a real possibility. If we're bearish, you want to see Tesla break below 260, then 257.5, followed by 255. Tomorrow, Tesla may cool off just a little bit, retest 260, maybe 257, then start pushing up higher. Technicals look more bullish. It looks like it may try to continue pushing now after getting a very, very bullish looking daily candle. So it looks more bullish. Tesla looks like it's just primed for more upside. If you look at Aapl, Apple's also trying to break out. We got a daily cross in the PPO, which is bullish. And on the 4-hour time frame, Apple looks like it has more potential for upside as we have an inverse head and shoulders like pattern, and it closed above the 50 EMA, which is a good sign. I think it's going to make an attempt to get up to about 175, which could push the market up a bit higher. The QQQ also has a cup and handle that is formed on it. This could lead this thing trying to push up towards 362. I'm leaning a bit more bullish on the triple Q. And finally, for Nvidia, this thing is looking quite decent now. We did get a little pop and we did hit this 440 target, which I talked about yesterday. We're going to be watching the 200 EMA at 442. If we break this, I could see this thing getting very close to 450. Do I think it's going to do it? My guts tells me it's almost time, and I think Nvidia is due for that bounce as we have a nice uptrend that has been established. So I think Nvidia is going to eventually break out towards 450, and I think this is going to help the market push up more. When we look at the VIX, I just want to mention that we had a bearish divergence and a rejection, and the VIX is continuing to cool off. The 4-hour is looking a bit more bearish. And on the daily charts, the VIX is starting to look weaker as we have a very bearish looking candle for now. So we're going to be watching this support at 18.38. If that fails, let's watch 17.66. As of right now, it's looking a bit more bearish. So this could lead to more downside for the VIX and more upside for the markets. So I'm seeing more signals that the market wants to bounce. We just need the follow through to see if we could get that. NIO's daily candle looks bullish. So I think that is very likely we're going to approach $9 if we could break this 50 EMA, and my guts tells me it's very probable by looking at the PPO. All right, so hopefully this wasn't too complicated. I think the odds do favor more upside for NIO stock, but in order for this to play out, we need to see it break and hold the 50. I think the odds favor that. If NIO breaks down, the major support is going to be around 8.5. That's going to be a level to watch for, but I'm not leaning in the direction of that happening. I think it may cool off just a little bit in the morning to start pushing for $9. I think that's going to be our target for tomorrow if we can break and hold that 50. Now, as far as the market goes, things are improving a little bit for the bulls as we're starting to see them defend their positions, and it doesn't really look like they want to see the market drop much more. So we're going to be watching this temporary attempt for the market to bounce. We're going to be watching to see how many buyers really step in going into tomorrow. But with that said, guys, NIO is looking a lot better. Make sure you're prepared for initial jobless claims coming out for tomorrow and watch for the big tests that are going to be coming out. The last thing I just want to remind everyone about is that when you are trading, if you're trying to do anything, do not let your emotions get the best of you, okay? On days when you lose money, on days you make money, you need to be as neutral as possible, and you have to remember that losses are normal for trading. It's okay if they happen, but you have to be able to not let them get the best of you. That is my reminder for the day for anyone that's like new to trading or anyone that's interested. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely spectacular rest of the day. Remain calm, cool, and collected, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long term is very bright, and peace out.